Hello, this is William Bruin. I'm here on a full moon at my favorite spot in Southern California, which is Nicholas Flat. I'm kind of in a little draw here. There's a lot of plants here that are very interesting, and I will talk about some of them. Let's go over here first, where we have a big patch of take a look at some of these here. It's a little dried out right now. This is California mugwort. Me with the mugwort here. It's underneath the leaves. It's a lot more lighter. It's kind of almost a silver color than on the top of the leaves. There's many different species of mugwort that grow all over the world. This is a native California variety, which is actually called, common name, California mugwort, or Artemisia douglasiana. Since we're doing this around Halloween, I might mention that mugwort has some very interesting folklore attached to it, and I'll talk about that a little bit before the medicinal properties, which are many. Mugwort is a plant that, in its varieties all over the world, has been used for protection, particularly protection from ghosts. And in many traditions, this is the time of year, right around Halloween, when the boundary between our world and the spirit world is the thinnest. And so they might be out and about right now, if you believe in such entities. Mugwort has been traditionally used to protect people from ghosts in many parts of the world, actually, including around here, where people would wear mugwort on their body somewhere, like as a necklace, to protect themselves when they're burying the dead. Mugwort is also used in dreams, well, dream pillows. I've noticed that when I put mugwort anywhere near my pillow, as long as I can smell it while I'm sleeping, my dreams tend to be more lucid. I like to think it's for some esoteric reason. It could be something boring and scientific, like maybe it triggers something in the brain that makes you dream more lucidly, or it could be both. Who knows? Either way, mugwort does seem to have that effect on many people. If you dream too lucidly, it might be too much. Mugwort also is full of volatile oils, which are protecting the plant. And as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, these volatile oils can protect us from things that would harm us, like various microbes, bacterial, fungal, etc. Not making any claims here, but mugwort does have a lot of traditional uses for many different types of these microbes. Mugwort likes to grow in these types of areas sort of near bodies of water. There is a pond really close to here, and mugwort's usually around this area, growing somewhere near rivers, streams, ponds, etc. In Northern California, you'll see it a lot more in places where there's a lot of fog drip, like up around Point Reyes. So mugwort has traditionally been used for all types of infections, respiratory, digestive, for skin sores, even been used for poison oak traditionally. I'm not sure how effective it is. Some people say it is, so I don't really know. I haven't really tried it. What else? It's a bit of a nerve relaxant too. Even smelling it can sometimes improve a bad mood. It's also very bitter. When you taste something bitter, you salivate, whole process starts in your digestive system. It is often really good for sluggish digestion. It's a bit of a digestive stimulant. We tend not to eat a lot of bitters. Most traditional diets, most modern American diets don't contain enough bitters. A lot of traditional diets do. When you taste something bitter, it activates digestion, which is a great thing. Also, right here, I'm going to just show you here, big willow thicket. The willow bark contains salicylic acid, which is now synthesized to make aspirin. Before, back in the old days, aspirin was made directly from willow bark, also from a plant called meadowsweet, and I think some others too. The Latin name of willow is actually Salix, and there's many different species of Salix that grow in California. Willow is another herb that likes to grow kind of near water, so I usually find willow near water. Go up a little bit here. There's a couple other interesting plants. Here we got one called Pearly Everlasting. It's very dried out right now, but if you rub the flowers and smell it, has a very nice, pleasant aroma. Here's some more of it. This is actually a type called California Everlasting. I think it's Pseudonephalium californica. I could be wrong. It's Pseudonephalium something. I think it's californica. It's very common here. It makes a very pleasant tea. Also has been used for colds, but also good for just relaxing, just a nice pleasant tea, good for digestion. You can use the entire above ground portion, the flowers, and the leaves. I'm going to walk up here. We're a little bit off trail. Here's some more willow. And I'm going to see what else we can find here. Notice there was a fire here. Some of these oak trees didn't make it, but many of them survived. Oak trees are very fire resistant. Sometimes the oak trees will look like they didn't make it, but then you can see them regrowing themselves. Regrowing themselves. You can see them starting to regrow, to adapt really well to fires. There's also a lot of ceanothus here. The roots of some species have been used traditionally as a lymphatic stimulant, and the flowers actually make a good soap. You can lather them up in water. Nice thin trail here. Let's take a look at where we're going. Oh, here we go. In the spring, I'm going to do a video about this plant when it is blooming. This is hummingbird sage. There's a whole big thing of it. There's also some poison oak here. Don't eat that. It's called poison oak for a reason. But the hummingbird sage, when it's flowering, it has, these are dried out flowers. When it's flowering, it has beautiful crimson red flowers. This is one of our native species of sage. True sages are in the genus Salvia. And this particular one is Salvia spathaceae. The leaves and flowers, like the mugwort, also have a lot of volatile oils, protecting the plant. These volatile oils are antioxidant and antimicrobial. And hummingbird sage, like many sages, has been used to fight various types of infections. Gargling with sage, this is true for most species, can be quite effective. If you gargle with it, that can often help relieve a sore throat because the volatile oils are constantly hitting the tissues of the throat. Also, this plant is quite relaxing. It makes a really pleasant tea, just like the Pearly Everlasting. It's quite relaxing, in my opinion. Now, again, this is a subjective thing. In my opinion, an antidepressant. Just being around the plant and smelling it and immersing myself in it, when it's blooming in the spring, it has beautiful crimson red flowers. It can improve any bad mood. Hummingbird sage only grows in California. It's endemic to California, meaning it only grows here. At least in the wild. It grows between Orange County and generally around the San Francisco Bay Area. Usually, but not always, about 25 miles from the coast, generally in elevations below 2,500 feet, usually. It likes kind of more temperate regions. Some of our sages can survive in these hot, sun-blasted, dry hillsides. This one prefers a little more shade, a little more temperate climate. It likes to grow kind of close to the ocean. It's called hummingbird sage for a reason. Hummingbirds love the flowers. Not only are they very sweet smelling, very pleasant smelling, they have that crimson red color that a lot of hummingbirds like, and they have a good landing pad for the hummingbirds. So this is probably it for now. There's a really wonderful ocean overlook ahead of us. And I'm going to do a part 2 of this video and we can check that out. And there's also a pond. Actually, let me go up to where the pond is. See if I can not do too much of a blank space here. This is a beautiful day, by the way. Oh, here's the hummingbird sage leaves. So these are fresh leaves just coming out. Not the red ones, that's poison oak again. So this is the green leaves here are hummingbird sage. And if you rub them and smell them like I just did, very pleasant smell. Just be sure not to accidentally rub against the poison oak if it's growing right by the poison oak. This is poison oak. It's got red, well, it's not always red, actually. Here we go. Not always red. The leaves are often green. They often turn red in the fall. They're usually green in the spring and summer, and after the fall, they usually fall off. You can still get poison oak from the stems. Poison oak isn't, well, some people don't get an allergic reaction to it. Most people do. Some people it's mild, some people it's pretty severe. You can tell it apart from blackberry because blackberry also has leaves in sets of 3, but blackberry has thorns on the stems and tasty blackberries. Poison oak has really tiny, round white berries, no thorns on the stems, smoother leaves. They tend to grow in the same habitat though, so you have to be kind of careful. This is one of the many reasons why you want to make sure you're not confusing an edible or medicinal plant for a poisonous plant. See what else we have here. This is very tall mugwort. Sometimes the leaves are serrated, but as they get older, they usually are not serrated anymore. But they are generally silver underneath and green on the top. Here's a more serrated leaf. Well, it's a little serrated. When they're young, they tend to be very serrated. It's a whole thing of hummingbird sage. Again, it's kind of dried out. Here's the pond I was mentioning. Hope I'm angling the camera correctly. And lots of hummingbird sage, as you can see. And these oak trees that have been affected by the fire, you can see where the fire has burnt part of the oak bark here. It's again the beautiful pond. And don't tell too many people about what I'm just about to show you. I almost like to keep it a secret, but just so you know where I do my full moon herb walks. And that's it for now. Please subscribe, and I'll do another video soon.